Hi, my name is Justin, and I just want to talk to you for a minute about something, just for a couple minutes. And it all starts with a story in the Bible and something else that happened recently that I just want to talk to you about, right? So, if you go into the book of Acts, you read about a man named Saul. Saul is out persecuting the church. So, he's headed to another town, all right? And he's on his way on the road on the way to Damascus, right? And there's this big blinding light. He gets thrown off. He has this whole thing to where he's blinded, and it's like scales that were across his eyes. One of Jesus's apostles, well, not the original 12, but a follower of Jesus, right, lays hands on him, prays. His sight is returned. He's converted, and he turns to God. What if God said, you know what? When I decide something is over, it's over. What if God instead struck Saul dead and Saul died right there, right? Now, I'm not the judge. You're not the judge. None of us are the judge. We don't know. We can't say 100% sure if someone's going to make it into heaven or they're not going to make it into heaven, right? None of us are in charge of that. Only God, in the end, is ultimately the judge because God is God, right? So, what if God struck him dead at that point and said, you know what, you've done so much against my church that instead I'm just going to, this is it. This is my timing to take you away from existence, right? Now, I'm saying this for one very particular reason. My sister recently, was sitting in her apartment, right? Her and my niece, her daughter. So they're just sitting there talking, and my sister isn't living right? Her relationship with God is non-existent. She's just in horrible spots, I'm not getting into all that, but what I'm saying is she's not, there's nothing with God with her at all, okay? So my niece gets up and she goes to the bathroom, just goes to the bathroom. She goes to the bathroom, she comes back, my sister is laying on the floor, not moving, no nothing. So my niece calls an ambulance, they come, and it turns out that my sister went 7 minutes without oxygen. She suffered a massive heart attack. There was a clot in her blood. They had to put a stent in her heart. She came back after being in a coma for literally 5 days. A coma for 5 days. Comes back, and now it's been, 3 days now, and her speaking is like slurred really bad. And like her thought process has slowed way down. They say because it was around 7 minutes that she didn't get any oxygen, so they're saying that there's brain damage there. Now, check this out. Now my sister is on this whole thing about how she's going to straighten things up. Things have not been right with God the entire time, right? And it's like, it's a big eye-opener, and now she has brain damage. But God is a healer. I know this is off subject for a second, but it's not. God is a healer, okay? God can heal her of this brain damage, okay? When she died, God didn't have to bring her back, okay? All this stuff, the coma, nothing. She could have died. In fact, they said at the hospital that there was not all, but there was a certain amount, I don't remember the number, it was like 3 or 4 other people that had similar, really severe heart attacks in that ICU. They all died that day. My sister is the only one that survived, and that's only because of prayers to God. Jesus intervened, okay? And God can heal her the rest of the way and take away this brain damage, But the point that I'm trying to make is, what if she didn't come back? What if God said, you know what? That's it. I'm just going to pull the plug at this point, and that's it. Because God has the ability to do that. God can do whatever he wants, right? He's God. I don't know how many times to really say this over and over and emphasize this, that God decides, right? And when she's saying all this stuff, it's like you can't help but reevaluate your own relationship with God and think, well, there's things in my life that I really need to look over and review and be careful, right? Because again, in an instant, I could just fall to the ground and have a similar incident like that, right? Because tomorrow is promised to no man, I have a cousin that he died at age 23, right? He should have had a whole long life, but it was like, boom, 1 minute alive, boom, next minute he's dead, because tomorrow is promised to no man. And here's what I'm trying to say with all of this, right, is I feel like there's a reevaluating that everybody should have like that, and it's like, when it comes to things like and I'm not accusing anybody because I don't know the people that are watching this anyway, but riding the fence is the term of the day, right? And it's like, I mean, nothing rude or offensive, but if you are riding the fence, right, remember the story I just told you about my sister, okay? My niece just went to the bathroom. My sister was 100% fine. Oh, yeah, things are just going great. She comes out, she's laying on the floor dead. And that's a terrifying thing, and I hope if somebody comes across this that maybe if you are riding the fence, think of this, that tomorrow is not promised to you. You could be gone tomorrow, okay? It isn't like, obviously only elderly people die, okay? If you go on the news or Google it, children die left and right, okay? You're not promised 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years on this planet. Today, here, tomorrow, gone. It's like flowers, right? Here, then gone. But I'm just trying to emphasize this because I feel like maybe there's somebody that'll watch this that, I know you don't know me or my sister personally, but I'm just saying that I hope that somehow this story, maybe kind of opens your eyes a little bit, and I hope, that this helps somehow with somebody, but we're still praying for her anyway. Her name's Stephanie, and but she could have easily not come back, is the point, and I just hope this helps somebody or pushes somebody in the correct straight and narrow, right? Because straight and narrow, right? Wide is the is the path of destruction, right? You want the straight and narrow, and I hope this helps somebody.